my friend, it's Pat Sloan here. Today is Christmas all year. Before we do that, it is also Blueberry Day. And here is my blueberry block that was in our breakfast club that we did at the beginning of this year, the applique, 9-block applique, which was so fun. So that is my blueberry block. If you have a quilt with blueberry fabric in it, blueberry, of course you can share your breakfast all day because you have a blueberry in there, if you have blueberry muffin. Or if you have recipes you want to share, do that over at the Fireside Chat group. My Pat Sloan Fireside Chat group at Facebook. So that's where we do the non-quilting conversations. So let's first do a question that I had, because a few of you wanted to know what was the status of my cross stitch. I showed you, I put up all the things on the wall that I'm currently working on. So you were like, well, you didn't show your cross stitch. So I'm like, okay, all right. Well, look at that. So I have what I'm going to consider 4 in progress for this year, which one of them has been in progress since last year. And I am slow at cross stitch. I do not do it on a super regular basis, and it takes a little while. I'm not fast. So let's first look at what I have here. So I've stacked them up, and then I'm going to talk about this. Don't let me forget. Like you can actually tell me right now, but I'm going to say that out loud. Don't let me forget. Okay, so this is the current one, the most current one. I'm now working on Eddie, the vampire. So it's so cute. And I did one of the little things. I did the lollipop to help me position Eddie, the lollipop stick. But I will do all of Eddie, and then I will go and do the other little things that go in. Okay, so that's the current one. And so that means I'm primarily just stitch on one at a time. I haven't really flip-flopped between doing others. I probably should do some sort of, like once a week, do one other one. I really need to, but I haven't yet. I've kind of just, will start some and then stop and start another one. Okay, guess what I'm doing. So I have this that I was started just before the Halloween came out, and it's very small. So this is one where I probably should like not do the Halloween for a couple days and just stitch on this and move it forward a little bit, because I really like to make it into just a little quilt rather than like, this is kind of like in a tin. I want to make mine just a little wall hanging quilt. Okay, then I have the temperatures sheet from the Fat Quarter Shop. This is pattern from the Fat Quarter Shop. And I have not stitched anything in this for a couple months. So what have I got? January, February, March, April, May. So June, July, and we're already in, I didn't finish May. I need to do June and July. So what I need to do is go and write down all my temps, and then one day work on this. So I probably should put on my schedule or it'll probably take me 2 days to catch up this much if I work a lot on it. If not, it'll take me longer. And then the flower market is flea market flowers is the one that I've been working on since last year, or possibly the year before. I don't remember, but I am much further along. So there, look at that. So I'm working on this left side, and I do believe I have an issue with placement, but I think I'm going to leave it. I think that this whole row up here, I got it too far in. This row here is too far in, but I think I'm just going to leave it. So that's that. I think that'll be fine. Now, I do have several others that I have started over the years that I still have not, I'm still keeping, as maybe I will start them up again. Maybe not. Maybe not. I will review that. One of them I'm thinking, it's got a lighthouse. It's cute, but I'm thinking, is it cute enough for me to work on? That's really the stage I'm at right now. It's possible that because I started it quite a few years ago when I didn't have quite as much of, under my belt with cross stitch, I may let that one go. But I have to look. There aren't too many of those that I kept. So that's the way it is. Okay, these little guys here, these little tool chests that were from the not the Home Depot, Lowe's. I think it's from Lowe's. All right, so people want to know like what I put in these, and I told you like these, you were breaking the quilter's code of conduct by always asking what are we doing with things, because my white one just has a few things that are for the featherweight. It's sitting under the Duchess, the featherweight. She's sitting on top of it, and it just has a few of her accessories in there. This one had nothing in it for a while, and then I decided that I would, because I used to have the book stand here. I had the book stand over here, do you remember? And I found that I didn't really use it. It was just there kind of holding the stuff, and I thought this was going to be much more usable. So what I'm doing is the little bird is in the top. So she's in the top of this guy here, this one and the pattern. And then the bottom is the Halloween stuff. And I have a little pin cushion, a little snail pin cushion I got a few years back from French General. I have some stuff, if I want to, put it on the thread, and then I have my threads. And I sometimes will put the papers in here. There we go. Sometimes I will just put the papers in here as well. But, it could be used much more effectively, possibly if I wanted to do other things. There's also a top. So up here I have I have no idea. I'm looking at this thing, oh, I know. This is the temperature quilt. This is all the stuff for the temperature quilt. Now I do have this rolling cart here, which has all three of these levels are cross-stitch stuff, which is crazy for somebody who does, very slow cross-stitch. I buy them and I keep them, but up here are the bags that I'm like, some of these I'll use, some of these I'll keep, some of them I won't. But anyway, that is what's going on. And I know you can use like acetane or whatever it is, fingernail polish remover, and just remove that, but I've been lazy. I haven't done it yet. I need to take the drawer out. So instead I just put some the pit needle miters over top of the words for right now, but I really should go and remove that because I really don't need their advertising on there. I don't even know who they are. It's just I haven't done it yet. Okay. So hope that answers all of that. And before we move on to the Christmas all year, we had the two winners. I have emailed them. Their things will be sent out. Were sent out this week. The scrappy book was from the scrappy book from C&T and Shannon and Jason. Their book. That went to Vivian, and if you go to the page where you entered, I copied what Vivian's comment was, and then the tank top and the jelly roll went to Sue. So there you go. You've got winners out there. It was a lot of fun. Thank you everybody for entering, and it was so fun reading your comments. Okay, Christmas all year. Let me get it out here. So Christmas All Year is a project that we're doing a sampler based on my wonderful friend Wendy's book. We did one quilt. We did, We did this quilt. And then Wendy decided to do a sampler from her book, which is just so stinking cute. And each part is taking something from one of the quilts in here. It may not be the main block, and just like this month, it's every month there's a part to do, and just like this month is not like the main part of the quilt, it's one of the little accent blocks in the quilt that we'll do. All of the names of the quilts in her book are Christmas songs that she sang as a little girl, which I think it's just so sweet. Wendy's very sentimental. She has lots of memories and things that she builds into what she does. So we are doing a piece from Little Road to Bethlehem. And let me show you, this quilt is stunning. If you are looking for a show-stopping quilt to make, this is it. This is Little Road to Bethlehem. And we are doing the little Ohio star. See the little stars in there? These little bitty stars. Wendy loves that block, and she tends to put it in quite a few quilts. And so it is super, super darling. And this one is super, super small. And so the instructions are on page 41. There you go. Page 41 are where the instructions are for it. Let me show you mine. You make 4 of them. So here they go. Whoops. I put pins so they would stay up there, but I guess I didn't push it in far enough. Okay, so I did 2 red, 2 green, which is basically how her diagram is. And I want to give you an alternate to this because I know not everybody feels comfortable sewing such small blocks. These are really tiny quarter square blocks. And so if you are someone that this is just really not in your comfort zone, I am going to show you a block that is the same size, and so you can just put it in, but it's very, very simple. So it is the square and a square, and I will show you one on paper piecing where you can use these foundations, and I've done these before, and I'll show you one where you just cut squares and you do sew and flips and you get the same result. So I will be doing the reversed one where I put I'm going to do one where there's like diamonds. So you get 4 floating diamonds, and these go under the bottom word joy. So there'd be 4 floating diamonds if you didn't do 4 of these kind of darling floating little stars. Okay. Also, before I go on, Wendy is putting out the layout directions, and so I'm linking to her blog today. I'm doing today's post a little early. She knows that, but in case it is not there when you go back. Once she has it loaded, I will direct link you to the page that she puts it on. But to start out, I just linked right to her blog. So she's got all the directions of, what we need. You can see here, like the stars will go under the word joy, or if you prefer, you can do little floating diamonds. Okay, so I wanted to do something with this fabric because there's some great images. So if I'm going to do a floating star, I have a little bit of space. It's not, I have room. So I just cut an initial one. So I just cut this initial one. But when I went to do the audition, let me get the board here. But I went to do the audition of it. You're going to cut the big square 3.5, and you're going to cut the sew and flips 2 inches. So if you do the 2 inches like this, and I just get some pins, if you have pins in your board, you can audition. I may have to stop this and get a cough drop. I am still getting over this dirty, rotten cold. Still, hold on. Okay, I'm back with a cough drop. So you're going to audition, and then you can see if your fussy cut image is going to be what you want. Is this really going to do what you were hoping? And in my case, I really like those, the holly leaf up here and this sort of swoop. So originally I cut this one, I cut this one with the bird at the bottom. But what happens is I lose it. Do you see that? She's going to be getting her little wings clipped off. And yes, I still get part of this, but it's just not worth it. It isn't as effective as I want. So back to the drawing board. That means the bird has to cut. If I want this bird in the middle, then that means I'm really not going to get any of this pretty swooping stuff. So maybe I want to have the other bird. So the other bird is, let's see, I've got 2 birds on here. I also have the angels, but they're bigger. The birds I think will fit better. So I have the birds sort of vertical and the bird flying horizontal. Can you see the horizontal? So I think the horizontal one is probably going to be, and I have them in red as well, where they're a little bit angled a little bit differently, but they don't show up as, I want them to really pop here. So what I can do here is I can mock up. I take one of my squares and I've got 3.5, right? 3.5 right here. Find it on your ruler, 3.5. And if I have 3.5 and I do this, put that here, see? That's not good. So I've got to pull it down. I've got to pull that down so that the bird is not caught up. And then what happens over here? I might have to, see, it's too close. It chops off the face, so I've got to pull it over here. So this I can actually semi-audition it. I mean, you literally could tape this down if you wanted, but I can get an idea. So I need to be a little bit more over like this. And then when I'm on this side, that's fine, and this one's fine. Okay, so that's good. That is good there. So what I want to do is I want to go and just get about where I am. Okay, about where I am, and then take my 3.5, just oversize it a bit here so that I can fussy cut it a little better. Get rid of all that. Okay, so now we'll just trim this so that I have, yeah, so I think this way. Okay. And then once I do this, I will put it on the design board. Let me put it on here and do the pins. Look how much nicer that is. It is centered. Yes, you don't get any of this kind of pretty stardust swoopy stuff, but you know what? You can't have everything. You can have it pretty, or you can have a little bit of that, and even a little bit of that isn't that effective when you cut off so much more. And you basically keep drawing attention to the fact that the wings were clipped. So this is it. This is what I'll do with the sew and flip. Now, if I am doing the papers are also extremely accurate. They're really wonderful. I love the papers. You will follow the directions on the cover here that tells you all the sizes that you cut for the papers, and it works out super well. And this paper just pulls off super easy, and then you have the same style block. Okay, let me go ahead and cut this, or sew it. I'm going to go ahead and sew it. I already cut it. I'm on my Baby Lock Solaris Vision. I have the guide beam on, and you can see right there, I've got the guide beam. I'm following the one that's on the needle right here. If 2 is distracting, you can turn the other one off, and that way I don't have to draw any lines. Many of the Baby Lock machines have this guide beam, and there we go. So I'm going to do 2 sides and then press them, take them, press them, trim away these 2 pieces back here after I press and be sure that they're even, and then I will do the other 2 sides. Here it is, all done, and that is the same size as the stars. So if you want to do an alternate, let me first show you the stars up here, because they just are super, super darling. And we're also going to be able to sew a good portion of this row this month after you've made whatever sort of pieces you want to have down here. So there we go. Look how stinking cute they are. I will, on the project page, I will have a picture. I'll do all, forward of everything here and show you. Now, if I was going to trade one of these out, let me just go ahead and trade one there. So you can see from here, right, it has a different look. It's got maybe a little, the diamond is darling, but it's a little bit more color, but it's fine. I think it looks super good. So if you really are not interested in working with such small pieces, this is an excellent way for you to go ahead and make something different. In the description box is the sizes. It's a 3.5 inch center, which is the size of the block, 3.5, and then 2-inch squares for the sew and flip. Okay. One other thing I wanted to tell you was we had some names come in for suggestions for these yellow squares with this quilt, because remember I had sea glass was my turquoise one, my aqua and white was sea glass, and I have two of these all sewn together, 2 units of 4, and I'm working on the 3rd unit of 4 with these 2. So I had 3 names that I liked a lot, which was Lemon Chiffon, Lemonade, the lemonade quilt, and then banana bread, a banana bread quilt, because it's yellow. I actually love banana bread with walnuts. Black walnuts are even better, just in case you're going to bake me some banana bread. That would be my favorite. So what I'm going to do is let you leave me comments. Leave me comments on the 3 of them. Lemon Chiffon, that does sound so pretty, doesn't it? And Lemonade, of course, sounds super darling. And banana bread for the yellow and the whites. So here is my basket. This is what I work from. This is a little Longenberger basket. I keep it just to the right-hand side here of my sewing machine. I just keep it right here so I can just pick up these, I usually work 4 at a time, like this strip. I get 2 yellows and 2 lights, and I do 4 at a time. That just works best. Then I get 4 of these strips and sew them together. The only time I have to really think about it is if there's some directional fabric, like if I want that B right side up, then I just think about the placement of it. But this has got 2 stacks of yellow and 2 stacks of lights. So fun. They go together quicker than you think. You start to build it, because look what happened with the aquas. I got so many. I got way more. Because I changed it to a little bit smaller quilt, and then I sent our ambassador Barbara, who's making one. I sent her my extras so she could put them in her quilt. Okay, so for our blocks this week or this month. Why do I always say week? I always say week when it's a month. The blocks this month are the little stars. And if you're looking for that show-stopping quilt, here it is, right here for you. Oh my goodness, that's just incredible. Okay, and we have the layout. So here is, we can do everything but those 2 on the right, because those are coming. So you can do the rest of this from the tree over now and get most of this sewn, which is what I'm going to do, so that next month that whole section is done and moving right along. All right, my friend, I love you. Mwah. Thank you for being here in the Sloan Zone. I will see you online.